Welcome to the Better Eye Health Podcast with Damon P. Miller II, MD. This particular podcast is an excerpt from the weekly conference calls. Dr. Miller focuses on different topics connected to the Better Eye Health Program. The topic of this session is The Art of Acupressure and Healing the Eyes, Part 1. Here is Dr. Miller.
We're going to start as we typically do. I'm going to talk a little bit, and we're going to start today with what's going to be a two-part talk. I'm going to be talking about acupuncture and other aspects of Oriental medicine that relate specifically to eye treatment. So we do a piece of this, the acupressure. All of you doing the program know we do acupressure, and that's a newer technique for acupuncture, although actually it's very ancient. So, the reason that Grace included this and the reason that we refined it even further, I was doing acupuncture for many years. I bought my first book on acupuncture in 1972. And so when I started working with Grace, it was kind of a natural that we not only keep what she had already added, because she had studied acupuncture as well, but we refined it, added to it, did more with it. And just going back for many centuries, there's been techniques described in acupuncture and Oriental medicine to try and help people with eye conditions. And in fact, there are practitioners across the globe that do acupuncture for these diseases. People in Canada, Turkey, Denmark, and a number of practitioners in the U.S., many of whom were trained by a Danish man who came over here and teaches a particular style of acupuncture that he learned, which has some benefit for the eyes. And I don't want to go into a whole talk on the theory of Oriental medicine or the theory of acupuncture, but one thing I do want to make clear in this talk is that, Grace had studied acupuncture. I've studied extensively acupuncture and do a lot of needling in my office. If I felt that doing acupuncture with needles was what you needed to get benefit for your eyes, I'd be proposing that to everyone. And truly, though, what we found is that acupressure, done even halfway correctly, is as effective as acupuncture. Now, you may ask, how can that be? How can pressing on a point be as powerful as needling it? Well, the reason that it can work as well is that needling, you have to go to a practitioner. You're lucky if you get treated once a week. If you really have a good relationship with someone, you might get treated twice a week. The people that I'm describing who do acupuncture around the world, they would have you come live next to their office for a week, and they would treat you twice a day. And that gets to be really quite expensive. Acupressure, each individual treatment is not as powerful, but you can do it almost every day. And so the repetitive nature of it, this gentler treatment done frequently, in the end has as much benefit. And this is not just my saying so. There are a number of books about acupressure that I'm going to be putting PDF versions of them up, not that you need to read about acupuncture, although they're interesting, but they give some more of the history, and that's going to be something coming in the fall. We have a whole library of books for alternative health that are PDF versions that we're going to put up. You won't be able to download them and print them necessarily, but you will be able to download them and read them, and you'll be able to read them online if you want to do that. And downloading them is easy. You can put them on an iPad or a Kindle reader or something like that and read them. The Kindle's really nice because you can enlarge the type. But just to get back to the acupuncture, one of the notions in acupuncture, and this is whether you're stimulating points with needles or pressure or heat or lasers or all kinds of ways you can stimulate an acupuncture point, all of them have a similar effect. And the thing to realize is that in the theory of acupuncture, there is a notion that the top of the body is connected to the bottom, the left side is connected to the right side, the inside is connected to the outside. And so a lot of the points that are most powerful for treating the eyes are not around the eyes. There are points around the eyes, but I just want to encourage you as part of this talk to go back, if you haven't recently, look at the workbook and look at the points on the hands and feet. Those are especially powerful. And a lot of the acupuncture points, if you're needling, are these points on the hand and feet. So make sure you're doing those. And we do have a little better, we revamped the workbook, we've revamped the videos. And so we're going to be making those available if you're already in the program and you want to buy an updated copy of the workbook and videos. You're going to be getting a mailing within the next couple of weeks that will describe how you do that. And if you just joined in the last few months, I forget where the cutoff is, but we'll be sending you that. That update will be just free for you. So that's about all I want to say this time. Next time we'll go into a little more of the actual theory of what you're treating with acupuncture, what you're treating with acupressure. But the takeaway message, the most important thing I want you to get out of what I've talked about today is an understanding that, number one, these techniques from Oriental medicine, stimulating points on the body, some of which are quite distant from the eyes, are a very powerful treatment for eye problems. And number two, stimulating these points by pressure versus stimulating them by needling them, if done on a regular basis, gets you all the benefits you would get from needling. The disadvantage is it puts the burden on you to do the work. So the good news is you can do all the work. You're not spending thousands of dollars. I mean thousands. I mean the center up in Vancouver, I think a series of treatments with them is $10,000. In Turkey, it's closer to $18,000. It doesn't come cheap. So there's real value in being able to do this yourself, if for no other reason than the money you save. The downside is you've got to do it yourself. So if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. But it's good. And the one reason why you might go see an acupuncturist is if you had other kinds of health problems that could be treated by acupuncture, treated well by acupuncture, instead of taking a drug that might have adverse consequences for your eyes. That's why you might need to seek out a professional for something more than just this particular things that we have you doing, these things we have you doing for your eyes.
Tune in for more podcasts and other presentations. Go to www.bettereyehealth.com. There is hope for sight.